Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show this morning. We do have a special treat back with us from the organization We Build the Wall. We have Marianne Mendoza is back with us. Marianne, how are you this morning?
I'm great, Paul. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So first off, I want to get to a little news. We got this Democrat lawmaker from Arizona. But how are the efforts right now? How's everything going with the We Build the Wall effort?
We are doing great. As you know, we finished our project in Sunland Park, New Mexico, which ended up being a beautiful piece of border security. Not only, a fence, but also paved road, light, sensors, and we are now working on a second and third project, but we need our fellow Americans to keep donating so we can keep pushing forward.
And they can donate, where can they donate? WeBuildTheWall.com?
WeBuildTheWall.us.
.us, that's right, .us. That's an easy one to remember. I should have remembered it. So I've got this headline here from a website called Common Dreams, and I'm going to show it to the audience right here. Democrat lawmaker warns whether you call it a fence or a wall, Trump is winning on the border. And this is not necessarily a Democrat that is proud of this. It's Representative Raul Grijalva. I think I'm pronouncing that right. They basically, some Democrats are warning their base, say, hey, look, the president's actually getting something accomplished. What are your thoughts?
Well, Raul Grijalva is the cartel congressman, is how he's dubbed in Arizona. He's been in that position for far too long. He does know, that the president is gaining ground, as are the American people with the projects We Build the Wall do. But we have Angel Dad Steve Ronnebeck, who's actually running on the Republican ticket in the primaries against Raul, trying to get him out of there. He's very comfortable. A lot of crime and nefarious things go on along that border. He's not very present in his, district. So, we all know he's a socialist. He openly admits that. He's part of the Socialist Party there in D.C. and, has a little clan around him in Congress who, obviously supports the socialist agenda also.
So you were saying, you said Steve Ronnebeck is actually challenging him. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
Yes. He is.
I think that's
he
fantastic.
Needs everybody's support.
Yeah, I mean, we've interviewed Steve on the program, and again, you mentioned he's an angel dad, and you're also an angel mom. Your son was killed by an illegal alien, and you mentioned that Grijalva is a socialist, and what's frustrating is he's from a border state. Can you talk a little bit about why you think socialists are so comfortable with open borders?
Well, it's the liberal socialist mindset that, everybody has a right to go anywhere. Everybody deserves everything for free. And unfortunately, that doesn't work very well, especially for Arizona. Anywhere in this nation, it doesn't work well. I don't know much about him to say why. He's comfortable with that himself. I just know that the things that he's done in southern Arizona, the policies that he has, backed up, totally been against the conservative platform. And it's just, we have too many of these democratic socialist mindset in Arizona. We've got another one down on the southern border. People are trying to encourage me to run against her. And hopefully we've got enough good conservative people who are going to run in this election. I just posted an article the other day about a Muslim who ran in Georgia unopposed, state level, but 100% supports open borders. Wants to have an F rating from the NRA. We've got people like this who are running for Congress, socialists and Muslim people who I really don't think belong in politics, especially when they uphold their ideals in a country, in a free free nation.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of times, you start to think some people have such a radical ideology. If they got what they wanted, it would not mean that the Constitution would be the law of the land, and so that is always very concerning. Back to this piece, I do have to point out that this Congressman Raul Grijalva, he says that the wall is quote an intentional symbol of hate and fear, not a security measure. And I have to say, I have seen this for a while now from the left. You've got other leaders that have called the wall an immoral concept. And yet, anytime I talk about building the wall, I try to also mention the human trafficking, the sex trafficking that's going on. So if they want to call the wall immoral and claim the moral high ground when a wall would prevent and disincentivize basically modern day human slavery, I got to call a foul on that one, Marianne.
I agree with you 100%, and I talk about that a lot, that, they're aiding and abetting modern-day slavery. You're absolutely right. And this, they talk about morals, yet they don't care what's happening to these women and children who are enticed to come to the border. The politicians have made it very, very easy for the cartel to make more money on human smuggling right now than they are on drug trafficking. And, the whole picture is what a lot of these liberal Americans who read a headline or listen to a politician say the wall's immoral. They don't look into it any further than that. They just go with what they're told. If they looked at the broad, big picture of what's happening to people, not only American victims, once these bad guys get here, but the victims all along the way, and the women and children who, like you said, are sex trafficked. It's sickening, and Americans need to wake up. The wall needs to happen, not only to stop the flow in, but to stop the flow of the criminals who were deported from having them come back over, too.
We're talking with Marianne Mendoza. She's an angel mom. She's from the organization We Build the Wall. You can donate if you want to see private groups, private money try to or continue to build the wall. It's webuildthewall.us. Back to this piece here. I do have to point out that people like this congressman and others are so committed to open borders that they're disagreeing with the Washington Post. So the president comes out and says, we're building the wall, we're building new sections of the wall. The Washington Post comes out and tries to fact check and be like, no, you're not, you're a liar. And then Democrats who are so committed to the open borders agenda, they're now trying to fact check the Washington Post. That's the real story here, I think, and trying to tell their base that don't listen to the Washington Post on this because we need this to motivate us to, continue with our socialist ideas. We have this guy on Twitter, Miles Trafficking, quote, the press is falsely claiming that no new border wall has been built. Very inaccurate and irresponsible reporting. See Representative Raul Grijalva tweet thread about this, and it mentions that he's saying, no, we need to be alarmed that the president is actually being successful. So how do you respond to that, Marianne, with the media trying to do what they're trying to do, trying to tell everybody that the president is not actually accomplishing what he said he wanted to accomplish?
Well, it's always been a hit piece on him no matter what. No matter what he does, it's not the right thing. And they want, the American people to think that he's a failure, that he's not accomplishing anything that he said he was going to during his campaign. We all know that there is new wall being built. I know for a fact in southern Arizona there were projects that were earmarked. He moved ahead with them. And yes, there are sections of walls that are being replaced, and they need to be replaced because they're antiquated. People are just climbing over them, not tall enough. And so in reality, it is new wall being built, even though it's sections that are being replaced that aren't effective. It's new wall being built. So I'm glad he's being, successful in that. It's a sad day when our media isn't just that, reporting on the truth. And then you've got, this whole agenda in Washington that, in reality, that those liberals would have just agreed with that article. But because Raul wants to make sure that his buddies know that, hey, they are being successful, we've got to stop it, they're encouraging the liberal base to run even harder and lie even bigger to get the results they want for the 2020 election.
Speaking of 2020, I'm glad you brought that up. I'd like to get your opinion as somebody who's working with We Build the Wall, also an Angel Mom. In 2016, illegal immigration, illegal aliens were a big part of President Trump's, stump speeches. He says he's going to stop it. It played a big role in 2016. Do you think it's going to play the same role in 2020 or maybe larger?
I don't know, but I think it has just as an important place in a campaign because so much of what's wrong in our country, goes right back to illegal immigration. The biggest thing is how much money taxpayers, are the taxpayer money is being used to support these people. $136 billion a year. And what's happening in our school systems, what's happening with our welfare system, what's happening with our assisted living. All the things that are wrong in a state and shortages in budget are because of illegal immigration in our country. And if you don't think that this is going to be a bigger problem in the coming years, in 2020 and 21 and 22, with the influx that's happened this past year, that $136 billion figure of what the country spends to support illegals is probably, going to be closer to $225 billion. I would imagine. With the influx of people that have come in. So, yes, it is just the same as biggest problem as it was in 2016, if not bigger, I think.
Well, and, hopefully the president, will continue to do what he's doing and, have even more success. And I think it does need to be, obviously, a big issue as well because it's something that the Democrats are trying to stop him, and they have tried to stop him from doing what he was elected to do. Marianne Mendoza, it's always great to talk to you, and wish you success, continued success with the We Build the Wall project.
We are actually getting ready to embark on a 9-day road trip to D.C. People can go to MakeAmericaSafeAgainTour.com, see our venues along the way, and then we will end up in D.C. on September 25th for a big Badges and Angels rally at the Capitol, 10 o'clock on September 25th. But our road trip is all about We Build the Wall and angel families, and we're going to be pointing out to Middle America that angel families are the end result of open borders, and we need to secure our borders.
Marianne, God bless you. Thank you for the work that you're doing, and be safe. Be safe in the road trip. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Paul.
All righty. Marianne Mendoza, everybody. We're going to take a break. Back in a moment.